Okay, I'm going to start letting people in.
Yeah, I didn't get it, Della.
You didn't?
Let me see. Ah, got it.
Okay, good.
Let me just see here something. Where is this? Where's this? Okay. Can you see me at the same time?
Yes.
You see me on screen? Is okay? Perfect.
No, I see you.
You see me, right?
Yes.
Perfect. That's what I wanted. And at the same time, then I can present whenever you're ready. I can present. Oh, I have it here. You know what? I had it here. Never mind. When you try to do these things. Okay, perfect.
I think we're still loading.
Yes, we're still letting people from the waiting room.
Yeah.
Antonio, you can go ahead and get started. I'll just continue to let people in as they arrive.
Okay, so hi everyone, and welcome to FIAPSI, another event hosted. And today, the top 3 countries that expats are retiring to. And first, let me introduce Carla Raymond Kidd, FIAPSI USA president, rockstar realtor from Sarasota, Florida. And she's going to share with you a little bit about FIAPSI, and also feel free to reach out to any one of us about FIAPSI and how it can open up doors to your international real estate. So the mic is yours, and then we'll present as well.
Thank you, Antonio.
On the stage. Mic is yours, Carla.
Thank you, Antonio. Welcome, everyone. We are very pleased to have you with us today. Thank you for joining us. For those of you who are not FIAPSI members, if you would kind of just raise that little hand in your box, that would be great. So it would be nice to know who isn't a member of ours, though, that we can identify you and tell you a little bit more. But we're happy you're with us. FIAPSI started back in 1951. It is an organization based out of Paris, France. And it started after the World War II. So if you can kind of go back in history and you can remember how decimated Germany was in most of Europe after the war. So it was a request from Europe for a number of countries to get together and bring their best people to come back to Europe and to start figuring out how they were going to rebuild Europe for the future. So this involved the USA, it involved members throughout Europe, and everyone brought their developers, their bankers, their architects to figure out how we're going to make this a better place to live and start from scratch. So because of that collaboration, it worked so well that a formalized real estate association was formed. And it is with a number of business entities. It's a networking group for all professionals in the real estate industry. So FIAPSI is based in more than 70 countries, and we have at least 40 different professions where people are involved in the organization. So you can be an architect, you can be an agent, you can be a broker, a developer, any sort of academia, anyone who participates within the real estate industry. Now, we do have a FIAPSI USA chapter, and we're the ones that are hosting this program for you all today. FIAPSI USA has a few events that they do in person every year. We have a spring and a fall meeting. This year, the spring meeting is going to be held in Toronto, Canada, and our fall meeting is going to be held in Hollywood, Florida. So, and then we have the FIAPSI International, which has a World Congress. The World Congress this year is going to be held at the end of May, and it is going to be in Singapore. The meetings that are in person do rotate to different countries and different cities every year, just to keep it fresh for all of us to learn a little bit about each other's areas and for greater networking exposure. So I welcome you to become a member if you're not. FIAPSI USA, you can join our chapter only if you're not looking to travel overseas, but are looking for global networking and global education. And then you also have a membership with FIAPSI International. But if you want, please I'd ask everybody to put your contact information in the chat. Let us know where you're from. And if you're interested in more information on FIAPSI USA, we would be delighted to share that with you. So thank you again for joining us. And Antonio, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Carla. And yeah, guys, join me and the rest of the FIAPS USA family for the Spring Symposium. I will be in Toronto, May 17th and 18th. So look forward to seeing many of you friends and new members and the family as well. So let's get started. The International Living Magazine puts out a survey and a few other publications throughout the international market where expats look to move, look to invest. And so we're just going to run off the top three. Okay. And so with that said, first, we're going to start off in the top three countries this year. Number three is Mexico. Number two is Portugal. And number one is Costa Rica. La pura vida. So that's what we have here as panelists. And so we're going to start with, and then we'll leave questions for, in the end, Q&A that you want to know about any one of these specific countries, or ask any one of us individually as well. And definitely reach out to Carla as well and leave your name and contact number in the chat box. So let's get started. And so number three country where expats are voted, or actually most voted to want to consider retiring, is Mexico. And we have a friend, a good friend, my friend and a friend of many, Ed Eakin. And with over 13 years of experience in the real estate industry, Ed Eakin Jr. has developed a reputation as the loyal, fun, and dependable broker and owner of the Eakin Group. It has found his true passion in helping realtors grow their real estate business since he began his real estate career in Playa del Carmen in Mexico, of course, 2007. And having attended Texas A&M and Sam Houston State, along with various real estate schools, Ed holds 12 designations and certifications, somebody with a lot of experience, which he leverages in providing exceptional quality services to all his clients. Ed has developed an extensive network in the real estate industry through his active membership and leadership positions in several real estate associations, including the Metro Texas Association of Realtors, Dallas, the Houston Association of Realtors, the Austin Board of Realtors, the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals, Texas Realtors, and the list goes on. Definitely well-rounded. And for the past 14 years, and that's why he's invited, Ed has been helping clients purchase second homes in Mexico, especially other countries as well, but we're talking about here Mexico. And so outside of real estate, Ed is a proud father of three who loves to play golf during his free time. He is also an ardent volunteer and fostering German short hairs with the Texas German short hair rescue group. Definitely have to share a little bit about that, Ed. But definitely, the mic is yours. So Mexico, top three country, Ed. In brief, because that's what it is. I think people want to know really why Mexico is on that list. The floor is yours, Ed.
All right. Well, thank you, Antonio. Thank you, Carla, for the opportunity to come and share Mexico today. I'm based in Dallas, Texas. We travel to Mexico quite often. And today I'll share some of my favorite places, along with some facts. Let's start with, maybe some of the hot spots in Mexico where Texans tend to buy, and that would be in the Riviera Maya, which includes Merida, Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Tulum, Akumal. It's an area that's really growing, and for Texans. Then we jump over to the other side and go to Cabo and up the Baja Peninsula. And so much opportunity up on the Baja Peninsula. Great golf courses, which is something that has a lot of interest for myself, along with a lot of people moving there. Just the opportunity to step into a golf course community, and so that's a hot area. For those that want to live in a mountainous town where the weather's beautiful and there's a lot of foreigners moving, San Miguel Allende is another one that seems to be really popular with foreigners. And then you got Huatulco, which is another beachside area. So, Della, if we could go to the next slide, reasons to move to or buy in Mexico. Man, I could talk all day long on reasons to buy in Mexico, the history and the traditions and the cultures going really throughout Mexico. They're all very different depending on what part of Mexico you're in. It ranks as the 5th largest in Americas and 14th globally as far as economy. There's a ton of opportunities there. A ton of other countries are going in and putting factories in there, and car manufacturers. I mean, the list goes on. It also shares a border with the U.S., which makes it very easy to get product from Mexico into the United States. There are several opportunities along the Texas border and Arizona, but mostly Texas, where a lot of commerce is going through. If you go to the next slide, Della, a hot spot for real estate investors and why, just the economic side of things, starting with all the manufacturing, and then tourism is huge. I mean, it's what brings all the money into the Riviera Maya and into Baja, Mexico. Political security. We all read about the government and how it might not be stable, but the people of Mexico believe their government's pretty stable. So, as different administrations come in, they all have different ideas on what stable is, and they all have different goals of what, where they want to see Mexico go. And it's exciting to see it. I lived in Playa del Carmen back in 2008 to 2010, and man, has that area changed, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Currency fluctuates, but the American dollar is usually pretty strong against the peso, so it's makes for a good deal. Real estate's happening. People and I mean, it's getting more expensive everywhere. I have a lot of people call me, where's the $150,000 beach house on the ocean? Those days are probably going away, but it's readily available in all areas, whether it be the Riviera Maya, Baja, Mexico. I mean, there is a ton of construction going on when you go to these places, and really all different price ranges. Tourism, man, the tourism in the Riviera Maya has gone from an airport in Cancun with one terminal to an airport now that has 6 terminals, and they used to get 5 million people a year, and now it's 40 million people a year going, or 35 million people going through that airport. So tourism, has just really increased over the year. Legal work, or legal, let's say, documents and stuff. As most people ask, I heard you can't buy, property in Mexico if you're a foreigner. Well, you can, but you're doing it through a trust. And it's something that's been around forever. It's a very safe vehicle. So, but it's always best to make sure that when you are doing any legal work, setting up corporations, buying real estate, starting a new business, is that you're working with an attorney that can help you through that process. Markets we already talked about. Right now, one of the hottest markets is Tulum and the Riviera Maya. There's so much going on there, and so many people, going through there. Let's talk a little bit about closing costs. They're different, compared to what we see here in the U.S. You're always going to have, some type of initial property purchase payment. That's going to vary depending on the developer that you're working with. It could be 10%, it could be 50%. I mean, it just varies. And, when you're buying an individual house from an individual, again, that could vary greatly. I would just exercise caution that you're working with the right people and you have the right professionals on your team. And just because somebody is working, let's say, in Baja, Mexico, and they're the expert there, they may not be the expert in Hualtuco. So we need to find an expert in Hualtuco. Inspection and appraisal cost. There's property evaluation cost. Acquisition tax has to be paid to the buyer in Mexico. Legal fees, notary or an attorney. Notario is the word that describes the position in Mexico, who's going to work with you, on the legal side of things, getting title and getting your fiducio comitio through that process. So make sure you do your research. Next slide. Common closing costs. Next slide, Della, I think. Agent fees, they vary by market because they, for the most part, don't have an MLS throughout the country. Always check, agent fees and because, man, those two vary a whole bunch. And don't be surprised sometimes when you see 10% or 8% or maybe even 1%. So just be aware of that. Loan settlements, that's one thing you need to be cautious about when you're buying a piece of property in Mexico, is to make sure that all the loans are paid on the house that you're buying, all the liens, any taxes, because sometimes those are somewhat hidden. So just make sure you're clarifying all that. Taxes cover transfer and capital gains tax. So yes, they do have capital gains tax as well there. Proof of public property, registry of no debt. Here again, you just make sure that the house is free and clear. There's some appraisal costs as well. Next slide. Let's see. Closing cost. Hold on. Let's talk about the train. As I talked about the Riviera Maya. Sorry. If we can go to the next slide. There we go. As I talked about the Riviera Maya and all the excitement going on in the Riviera Maya, I mentioned that the Cancun airport was one terminal. Now it's 6 terminals. Well, they just opened up a new airport in Tulum. It opened up about 60 days ago. They're doing domestic flights right now, but next month / April, they are scheduled to start doing international flights into the new airport in Tulum. At the same time, the president started a very big project on creating a train system throughout this area. And right now, I think 3 out of the 7 portions are complete. It's a high-speed train that once it's done, man, is it going to be just an incredible way to explore this region. It's often stopping in areas where there's Mayan ruins. And so that's something to be fun about, or to look forward to it. Surfing locations, there's a list of some favorite surfing locations for those that like surfing. I included best golf courses. Man, Cabo, if you're a golfer, Cabo and Baja Peninsula has several championship golf courses. Marinas, if we go to the marina slide, tons of marinas, obviously boating and fishing throughout Mexico is amazing. Some of the biggest boats in the world are docking in Mexico. And then if you just go to the last slide, Della, it's my information. If anybody like to get a hold of me, feel free to reach out to me at any time, and I can always connect you with the right person in Mexico. Thank you. Ooh, that was a lot. Antonio, we can't hear you. You're still on mute.
Okay, now there we go. You know, sometimes we do this a lot and we forget that we're muted. So I love it when it's live and you can make mistakes. But thank you, Ed. Definitely we'll have some Q&A in the end for you. And I have a couple questions for sure. And so hang around and everybody, you keep, I think, questions in the chat box as well. And then we'll be able to go over that. And then, but yeah. And so, so then Mexico, third country rated by where expats are looking to consider retiring, right? So definitely. And so Della, I'm going to pass you the mic briefly, and then you'll pass me the mic right back because I'm going to be presenting Portugal. We always hate this thing is talking about ourselves. So real briefly, if you want to do that, I think it'll be great. Thank you, Della.
Yes, sir. So here we are. This is Antonio Barbosa. He is our member from Portugal. He opted to join FIAPSI USA, which is a fabulous thing for us. And Antonio, please forgive me. I've got so many screens open right now. I can't find your bio.
Oh, that's okay. I'll introduce myself quickly
Yes,
then.
please,
I'll do that.
Please,
I'll do that.
my apologies.
No, and as you say, you know, I love the FIAPSI family, FIAPSI USA. So definitely, that's where I'm at. And there's a lot of FIAPSI chapters in the world. And you know, I've been in real estate career of over 20 years, and it's a passion of mine. I'm also a member of a few other associations and member of NAR, most importantly as well, with the CIPS designee. Also ABR and CRS. And so definitely Portugal is my home. I breathe. That's where I've been living the last 23 years. And so happy to share with you guys why Portugal is named the second best place to retire in 2024. And I can give you over 100 reasons. And I think you've heard me say this many times before, but I'm going to leave it to 6 for today. Normally I do 3 or 5. Today is a nice round number of 6. So, and briefly, a brief introduction. Portugal has long been considered a desirable place to retire. Consistent interest in the country as a retirement destination now will even seem set to increase, with the study naming the country as the second best place to retire in 2024. Okay, Portugal fell behind Costa Rica, and we'll hear all about it with Marlene, for the top spot and ranked above Spain, Greece, and France, the other European destinations that made the top 10. And the top 10, you know, I can go backwards real quickly. Colombia, number 10, France, number 9, Malaysia, 8, Greece, 7, Ecuador, 6, 5, Spain, 4, Panama, 3, Mexico, 2, Portugal, 1, Costa Rica. So those are the top 10. And so definitely beating out the other European. And so could you retire to Portugal? Well, the annual survey, and what most people do retire here, and they have chosen Portugal as the second best. Okay, the annual survey was conducted, of course, as I mentioned earlier, by International Living magazine. It ranked countries on an index that took into account healthcare, governance, property prices, climate, cost of living, housing costs, and more. The safety of Portugal was also among the reasons Portugal was named the best place to retire. Second place, rather. The country consistently ranks as one of the safest countries in the world and on the Global Peace Index, okay? Because actually this year for 2024, I was just reading an article, ranked number 7 this year, held the same position as last year. So consistently ranks as one of the safest countries in the world. It's far from the first time that Portugal has ranked highly in similar studies. The same survey saw Portugal as the number 1 destination last year, beating out again all of its European neighbors once again. And so why is Portugal ranked as a top retirement destination? Here I'm going to share and we'll dive into Q&A in the end, but just briefly, 6 key reasons why the country scored so highly. It might be just what any of your clients are looking to move to Portugal that will cement their decision, okay? Number 1, cost of living. And remember, I can give you over 100, but number 1, cost of living. Portugal's cost of living is enviably low overall, but particularly notable for the cost of items that would be considered luxuries in plenty of other countries. World-class coffee and wine can prove laughably cheap, as can meals out and day trips across the country on Portugal's reliable and ever-growing rail network, as well as buses, okay, infrastructures. Compared to both Northern Europe and the USA, for example, the same budget can buy a retiree a completely different quality of life in Portugal. Okay, so number one reason, cost of living. Number two reason, ease of integration. Portugal is widely recognized as a welcoming and open country. A well-settled community of overseas residents also helps to ease integration, with new arrivals having the choice of established expat areas or more authentic towns that prove equally welcoming. English is widely understood and spoken. And although efforts to learn Portuguese always pays dividends and lead to greater appreciation of the local country, okay, local culture. Number three reason, climate. Okay, who doesn't love to live and retire in that sunshine? Well, Portugal, with over 300 days of annual sunshine, it's little wonder that Portugal's climate is considerable draw for retirees. But Portugal's no one-trick pony when it comes to weather. While the Algarve, which is in the south, offers Mediterranean-style sun, sea, and sand, and maybe the southern Alentejo region, which is right below, in between Lisbon and the Algarve, it offers serious heat. Okay, it's a warm part of the country. The more northern region and interior parts offer respite for those seeking something a little bit cooler. Okay, so Portugal, definitely climate, has it all. Snow, only in one region or in a really high mountain. So if you're looking for snow, it's not the country to come to. There's a lot of other beautiful countries, but definitely climate with over 300 days of sunshine. So number three reason. Number four reason, lifestyle. Portugal is a lifestyle country. Okay, it's down to earth with refreshingly little focus on materialism and hustle. The country is all about outdoor living, leisurely meals, local produce, and family values. Things that many feel are lacking in the countries they're departing from specifically. If you retire to Portugal, you'll enjoy a lifestyle, more laid-back lifestyle, with time to enjoy the things you love. So Portugal is a lifestyle country for retirees, without a doubt. Number five reason, amenities. Portugal's amenities, from the practical to the indulgent, are often modern and world-class. The country's focus on tourism means that Portugal is scattered with golf clubs, sports facilities, glitzy shopping malls, and bars and restaurants that range from rustic and traditional to expensive and even Michelin-starred restaurants. There's also plenty to do without spending a single euro cent, thanks to Portugal's natural beauty and well-established network of hiking and cycling routes. Portugal is, the majority of things in Portugal are for free. The sunshine, the networks of just getting around, walking trails, biking trails, outdoors, those things are free. And I'll wrap it off with the sixth reason, and who doesn't think about when they retire, the healthcare system, okay, and their health. Okay, so Portugal has one of the most inclusive healthcare systems in the world. It doesn't really matter where you are from. If you need to go to a doctor or an emergency room, chances are you will not be asked to pay more than a local, and that's between €4.50, 18 euros, and that depends on the income that you have. And everyone contributes to that. Okay, it's a social government, and everyone contributes it to the healthcare system, from young to old. And even people that are retired or they don't have X amount, or they're below the minimum wage, they are for free. And also, the same applies to your medication, okay? Medication, chronic illnesses, etc. When you are living in Portugal as a full-time citizen, a resident, you have the same benefits as any Portuguese citizen would have, okay? And so, if you have and it's easy, once you have the residency status, you apply for your social security number, and that gives you access to low-cost healthcare, not only for and medication. Okay, so that is how you do it as a permanent resident. If you come into Portugal as a visitor, Schengen visa visiting, you do have to take out health insurance. Okay, so it is mandatory. And of course, Portugal, and to close it off, Portugal deserves its run of accolades as a great place to retire. over 500,000 retirees in Portugal already. That's certainly with an established community, ready waiting for anyone to enjoy the weather and the facilities. And there's a place for everyone, plenty of space still for everyone. And so, but that's Portugal. I'll leave Q&A. I wanted to just share those same reasons and not so much about the real estate per se or cost of buying, etc. I think it's important that we share why these three countries, and that's the focus. And so those are, and I can give you over 100 reasons, but those are my top 6 reasons why expats definitely, and that's why International Living Magazine and a lot of other publications, you're talking from the NASDAQ publications, from so many, you know, that I can't even remember. I think you guys see me publish about it, but any questions about specifically about Portugal and the real estate, then we can leave it for either towards the end. But with that said, I'm going to introduce now La Pura Vida. Oh, definitely lots of questions about La Pura Vida in Costa Rica. Marlene, love it, love it. And Marlene Cambronero. Okay, she is GRI, CIPS, RSPS, realtor extraordinaire also, right? And Marlene was born in, guess where? San Jose, Costa Rica. She's a resident of Tampa. She's a resident of Tampa, rock star realtor in Tampa, friend as well. And since 1987, and has worked in the real estate industry since 2002. So she's on her way to 22-year career. Very impressive, okay? She graduated in international business management from the University of Tampa. Marlene is currently, and I repeat, Marlene is currently the 2024 chair of the Greater Tampa Realtors Association Global Community, okay? Florida Realtor Association, member of NAR, NAR, right? Now, we don't like to say NAR, NAR, National Association of Realtors, and she is the global ambassador for Costa Rica. So definitely, she was born there. She knows Costa Rica, and definitely happy to have you here as well. And she's also, in Nicaragua and Panama. We can't forget about those other 2 beautiful countries too. She's a NAR global ambassador, okay, to Costa Rica, Nicaragua, and Panama. Marlene enjoys the arts, sports, outdoor activities, and the Spanish flamenco. Love it. Exactly. Oh, I love it. I love it. Dancing, that's their hobbies. And so, Marlene, without further ado, share with us why Costa Rica is the #1. I can give you also a couple of reasons, but I want you to share with everyone listening the #1 country this year rated by International Living Magazine. And it's ranked, you know, over the last few years, Costa Rica, like Portugal, like Mexico, we're always on top of the list. And it's been #1 before in the past, and it consistently ranks in the top. So the mic is yours, my dear. I'm looking forward to it. And then we have Q&A for you. So as well for Mexico and even Portugal as well. So the mic is yours, my dear.
Thank you, Antonio, for such a warm introduction and such an energetic and friendly description of my person. And thank all of you as well, Carla, Bella, and Ed, for being so great and giving me the opportunity to speak about my beautiful country. I am just so proud to be Costa Rican, and I will share with you why. Because we are Pura Vida. That's why we keep on getting that top spot more than once, and always on the top nations, countries and locations and destinations for everyone, not just to visit, but to live there and to invest. So I am kindly going to also thank you very much to Ofelia Ulloa, our dear friend from Costa Rica, who could not join us today. She has been very gracious in sharing this presentation with me with the most up-to-date information, technically speaking, because I like to always provide, provide the best, more accurate information that I can possibly share with you. So here we go. So thank you, Ophelia, for providing this information. And here we are, Costa Rica. Is definitely a great investment opportunity in today's global market. Why? Because of all the conditions that not only Antonio mentioned previously that makes Portugal number 2 at this time, and they were top last year. Kudos to that, because you deserve it. It's a beautiful country. I can't wait to visit soon. But Costa Rica also offers a variety of reasons in the top categories of how this was measured and given this top position. In Costa Rica, we have 7 provinces. And believe it or not, it's a country that is very small. They compare it to West Virginia size in regards to the territory. It's just short of 51,000 kilometers for those outside of the United States, so close to 20,000 square miles, square kilometers and square miles, as you see here. So we have 7 provinces. This area here, where you see my cursor, is the Atlantic Caribbean. More, I would say, more of a rainforest, very tropical, thick jungle here, canals, amazing fishing. Right here on this other side is the Pacific coast. So we have both oceans. We have the Central Valley right here and all the mountain ranges, 3 of them, with several volcanoes and forests throughout the entire territory. The 7 provinces offer such an amazing variety of climates. We are so blessed to have cities in the central area that can be 72 degrees Fahrenheit and about 22 degrees all year round. So that is unbelievable. You don't have to have air conditioner, just open your windows with a little fan, you're good. The exchange is also very good. You come in with dollars or euros, and you can, go a long way. Based on the areas that you find, you can be up in the mountains, you can be on the beach. It's such a diverse, ecologically speaking, country. We call it Costa Rica's verde. It's green. We are a rainforest. So there's always a little mist of rain and the mountains, and that just passes through, that just keeps everything so green and luscious and beautiful. So if you love nature, if you love the natural resources, you automatically will love my country. Costa Rica is gorgeous in every way because we have everything. Even though it's a small country, there's a little bit of everything for everyone. So we do sell that lifestyle. You can live on the beach if you prefer to go fishing, surfing, just sunbathe, be along the beach area. You can be up in the mountains and be always growing whatever you eat. Find beautiful areas to parks. Close to 30% of our area in Costa Rica protected by the government, and they are open to the public by very reasonable, I would say almost nominal payment that you pay, sometimes $2, $5 to enter the park, and beautiful trails. And the location is amazing. We are in the heart of our hemisphere, in the heart of America. Right here is Costa Rica, just north of Panama. So the access to direct flights to Europe from San Jose, the 2 international airports that we have, one in San Jose in the Central Valley, the other one in the north area in Liberia, and they are strategically placed to where you have easy access to the most sought after locations for relaxation and adventure. You can fly from here directly to the east side of the world, so through the Pacific in direct flights as well. So it's amazing. They mentioned here the 2 airports that we have. And in regards to businesses, the people always assess risk. Where are they going to put the money? Where they have less risk. Okay, why is Costa Rica so appealing? We have no army, no wars, no revolutions. We avoided the political armies since 1948. So it's something that gives that sense of security to people, where they know they're not going to be dealing with situations that are completely out of control, as they have to face in other countries, unfortunately, that are in the region and other countries around the world. So safety is crucial for everyone. And in regards to business and in regards to where they want to be with their families, that is number one. Also, the economy is very stable. I would say it is very progressive, very much on top of what I would say with other countries like in South America. Despite being such a small country in Central America, we are right on top. Same thing with the education. 96% of literacy rate. That is incredible. We have schools, it's mandatory, it's free education for everyone, and everybody goes to school. We believe in advancing in the world is the key, and the doors is through education, and that is instilled in our brains since the moment we start very small. Bilingual schools everywhere as well. And you see we progress also with the health care. As Antonio was mentioning, we have top of the line healthcare people that are specialized on the best care everywhere. We have clinics that all the people that live in Costa Rica have access to throughout the entire country that are top-notch people. They are, like I said, specialized in several top institutions throughout the world, and they all practice in Costa Rica. People come there because they know they're going to be in good hands, and that is very important. As people live in a different country, they're not familiar with the area. They want to make sure that if something happens, they're going to be in good hands and be taken care of. And so that is very, very good in Costa Rica. And also in the northern part of Costa Rica, right here in Nicoya, I'm going to go back and tell you where Nicoya is. Nicoya is right on the Pacific, right up here in the Pacific area, right around here where I have my cursor. And that is one of our top blue zones in the world. And the people there live such a simple, organic food, peaceful life that they live in the hundreds. So it's so amazing that, you know, we are recognized for that as well. So as you see here, the whole peninsula there in Nicoya is considered one of the blue zones in the world. And why not? You know, it's not sometimes just your genes, it's your lifestyle. And as Antonio said, in all these industrial developed countries, yes, you can progress and make a lot of money, but then what do you do with the money if you don't have your health, if you don't have a peace of mind? And now with the ability to work remotely, we have amazing technology with the best, internet, high-speed internet everywhere, in a beautiful country, peaceful, and that's what makes us pura vida. Who wants to go to Costa Rica now? And in brief, you know, this is pretty much some of the main reasons, like Antonio said. If you want to get technical about what type of visas you need, the golden visa and all of that, I have all that information. We can leave it for questions and answers. I don't want to bore you with all the technical stuff right now. I just want to definitely invite you to come to my beautiful Costa Rica, and you will see with your own experience why Costa Rica is so special. We are pura vida.
La pura vida, no, Marlene? And so now that you have,
Our
I'm
lifestyle.
not sure, I haven't been looking at the chat, and I see some familiar faces on the screen as well. And I'm actually not in Portugal, if you guys are following me where I'm at and my journeys. But definitely, you know where I'm going to be May 17th and 18th? All roads will lead to Toronto, FIAPSI USA, Spring Symposium, right, Carla? And definitely looking forward to seeing all the family there and the new family as well. Okay, remember, you have two options, national and you have international. Okay, so definitely be a part of. I am very happy honored to be a member of FIAPSI USA, because really with the education, the programs, guys, I don't even know what the values are, but it pays for itself. And the connection. So it gives you keys to open up doors. So definitely all roads, May 17th and 18th will lead there. So Marlene, I'm not sure if we have some questions, but I got one question for you because it's on my list. It's probably one of the next countries to visit, not in 2024, but definitely in 2025. You can count on a visit there, my dear friend. And that includes also Nicaragua as well, because that's just
Panama, why
something.
not?
Yeah, Panama, definitely, my dear. I
Amazing
know
too.
who to contact, the NAR ambassador as a friend. What more can you have? And so, when is a great time to visit Nicaragua? Because that's, I think, most people, when we talk
Mhm.
about weather and visiting, and you say like the beautiful, I always have this image of Costa Rica with the volcanoes and the green. There's no army, there's turtles. I remember there was an ad that
Yeah,
the,
the
the army
turtles
was the
is
turtles
our
on the
army.
beach, right? That's the image I have of
Yes.
Costa Rica, very peaceful. And so when is a great time? And I'm sure there's other questions, and if there is, put them in
Okay,
the chat
remember,
box.
you coming to the tropics. If what makes the countries in the tropic region so beautiful is the rain. So we have really the same temperature in all the locations all year round. The only thing that is different is that we have the dry season and the raining season. So the raining season is, I would say, from May through December. So that means it can rain just about any time, but it's not like we have hurricanes or storms and crazy things like that. No, it's just a nice steady rain, misty, almost just about every afternoon after 3 o'clock up in the mountains. And the condensation, you have the Caribbean, the Atlantic, and the Pacific Ocean, and then you have the mountains in the middle. So the change in temperatures and air pressures, and that is what causes that beautiful, nice mist and steady little rain that is great to take a little nap in the afternoon. Or just to go
La
around.
siesta, la
That's what
siesta, la
makes everything
siesta.
so beautiful, and the flowers so colorful, and the food so delicious and so good. So if you don't mind, just bring a little windbreaker, waterproof light little jacket like that, and you're good. And a little scarf, maybe if you're going to be up in the mountains and go to a
Love
fancy
listening to you, Marlene.
restaurant, then a nice scarf, but other than that, if you go from like December through April, then not so much rain, and then you're able to get around just about anywhere and everywhere without having to worry about getting wet. That's
Well,
all.
there you
But
go,
if
guys.
you're planning on
Now
going water rafting, fishing, or just hiking on the mountains, who cares? Just bring
there
your hiking
there
boots
you
and you're
go.
good, and a little umbrella. So
There
it's
you go.
it's just part of the adventure, part of the experience, part of our lifestyle. And we don't mind all those
I
things. We
you
embrace that. It's a blessing. When we see rain come down, we're like, God is here. We're special, and is how we see everything.
well, we can listen to you. Your passion is notably in speaking about Costa Rica. It goes, and there you go, guys. You know when to visit Costa Rica. Now I know too. Everything else I'll discover, and I'll have a friend, Marlene, and even Ophelia and other friends there as well, definitely to guide me through that. And visiting real estate and getting to know. So thank you for sharing that. I'm not sure if there's any questions, but before we get on, I have a question for Ed as well. And then, because Ed, Mexico, and I know Mexico, I lived in the States, so visiting was easy. And I think that's what makes it very attractive, especially for Americans, is the closeness there. And I remember the area of the Yucatan was widely always sought after. I remember even me as, in the college, Cancun, right? And then Cozumel, Playa del Carmen, it's grown, Tulum has grown. But there's other areas, because that's just not Mexico. You have areas also, if you want to maybe just share, because I think you had mentioned a little bit about them. But like, for example, do you see a lot of the retirees more like also in San Miguel de Allende? Do you see them maybe in the Cabos? I remember we were talking about that in the Cabos, their area also. So where other areas, because the Yucatan, I think it's built up, and you're saying now the new airports, etc. So where do you see, is that you see retirees there too, or do you see other kinds of investors, or is other areas where the retirees are looking for? That's the question probably for you, Ed, that I'd like to see.
To start just with the Yucatan, first of all, Merida, which I didn't really talk about Merida, was voted the safest city in the world last year. So there's a ton going in that big colonial city. And then, yes, Cancun, everybody's heard of Cancun. And it's grown, tremendously over the years. It wasn't too long ago, Playa del Carmen and Tulum, they weren't even on a map. And now it's just going further south. And with the train and with the airport in that area, you know, you're looking at Mahawa, which has a lot of opportunity for growth that a lot of people would not necessarily go down to unless you are on a cruise ship. But now with the train, it's going to be right there. And then Bacalar, which is on the border of Mexico and Belize, that has a ton of opportunity. But San Miguel, man, I have clients and friends that love San Miguel. It's a very walkable city, full of artists, full of people that write poetry, write books. It's just a very chilled, awesome weather, great food, great music. So there's a ton of musicians that hang out there. Ton of Americans and other foreigners that have picked San Miguel because they don't necessarily want to be on the beach scene. And then, you know, I do a lot of stuff in Cabo, and the attractions in Cabo are golf. They have the best golf. It's the Pebble Beach in Mexico. And then you have the food. It's a great place for food. And then going up the Baja Peninsula, that's where a lot of people that don't want to be in all the excitement of Cabo. You know, you go up the East Cape, there's a new Four Seasons that's been there a couple of years called Costa Palmas, with a marina that they are putting in, or it's starting to open up. And then you go up further to La Ribera, Las Ventanas. Man, you can just go all the way up the East Cape. And then the other side of the peninsula, you have a lot of people have heard of Todos Santos and Hotel California, that was not written at this hotel in Todos Santos. It's a myth, but it is called Hotel California. But you got Los Cerritos, another fun little place, La Paz. La Paz is a great place for retirees. It's beautiful, and with a huge Malecon. And it's all these places in Mexico are so easy to get to, especially out of Texas and California. I mean, there's thousands of flights a day. So, I mean,
Well, it's just not
trying to learn
Cancun,
them
right?
all. So
It's just not Cancun, that's for sure. And that's the point that I wanted to bring, because I think there's a lot of places, and it's about where people are moving, you know, all over. People are moving. They're looking for that quality of life, cost of living, conditions. Maybe their dollar will stretch further. So there's a lot of beautiful places in the world. We heard about 3 of them today. So
Right.
there is a lot of them. And
one thing I'd like to share is that I didn't share is cost of living is so reasonable, you know, throughout Mexico. And healthcare, a lot of people are going there for healthcare because, I mean, it's pennies compared to what we spend in the US. And then drugs for people that are, and I say drugs, not the bad stuff, your medical stuff, your cholesterol medicine, your high blood pressure medicine, your diabetes medicine, all that is just crazy affordable. So the person that spends $500 for a diabetic drug, such as Forxiga, here in the US, you go get that in Mexico for $50. So you're saving $450 a month. So you got a lot of retirees going there because medical and medicine is so affordable.
Well, thank you for sharing it. It's important. It is, and that's what the whole highlight of this conversation today was about. And thank you, Marlene and Ed and Della, my trusted, definitely in the committee here as well, because she is. And Della didn't present herself, but definitely she's here part, and also Allison and Carl, of course. Thank you guys for because and always lending a hand, right? But it was sharing about three countries, and you know, guys, we're here, we're realtors on the call. Look at people are moving around, and that's the whole thing. And I think, you know, not only people that are probably on the call here thinking of one of these 3 countries or others as well. So definitely there's a lot of CIPS realtors here and global realtors with FIAPSI. Definitely reach out. I'm not sure if you guys, Della or Carla, are there any questions for Ed or for Marlene in the chat box? It's hard for me. I don't have my laptop, my dears.
There's
Okay.
no questions. Della, did you see any?
No, everybody did a fabulous job of saying hello and telling us where they're from, and that was amazing. But you guys did a great job. There were no questions for you, so you covered all the bases.
Wow. See, so you had it easy here today, Ed and myself and Marlene. We had it easy. No, but we're just at the hour, and that's the perfect thing. Timing. Thank you, Ed, as well, and Marlene, for when we set out to do, and I love it. So thank you so much, and for keeping it to plan and within our time frame. So maybe we'll wrap it up, and again, maybe any special rooms that this room was hosted today. FIAPSI has every quarter, this room was open as an event. So we have FIAPSI members with some valuable information that you're not going to hear unless you're a member. So maybe we have some programming coming up as well. And I know whether it's about vertical farming or artificial intelligence, there's a lot of programming that educational. So maybe if you want to maybe briefly, I don't have the notes here in front of me, Della, but I know we have it in the programming in the next couple of months, and maybe you want to share about that in the last few minutes.
Yeah, we have some great programs coming up. One of them will be touching on Nigeria. And I think that's, an awesome opportunity for a lot of people. We also have an opportunity coming out of Canada that I think you guys are not going to want to miss. And Marlene, you had your hand up. Tell us something good.
Quickly, I believe we will have the opportunity to get together with some of our FIAPSI members, and MIPIM is coming up very soon in France in the middle of March, and so I will be there. So I'm looking forward to getting together with all our FIAPSI members from around the world there. If we have anything that I need to be aware of, please let me know so that I can attend the program that you have. I'm not aware of it anything at this moment, but if there's something being presented by FIAPSI, I will certainly make sure that I'm there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there was an email that went out, the gala dinner and some presentations and stuff. Do we need to resend that to you?
Oh, okay. I thought it was in general for the gala for the whole entire MIPIM. I didn't realize that it was just for FIAPSI. Okay, thank you for clarifying.
Okay.
Thank you.
Antonio, you want to close it out?
Sure. MIPIM, March 12th to the 15th in Cannes, and special discount for FIAPSI members if you enroll earlier. Okay, so there's a lot of advantages. Reach out to Carla. We have our new president will be inducted as well. Good friend of ours, right? Bennett. Evan Bennett, definitely there. So May 17th and 18th. Those are the dates I'm set. So closing it out, just guys, this is the programming we do. This was today's about the top 10 countries, but we only brought out the 3, which were Mexico and Portugal and Costa Rica, where people are looking to retire to. So it's a pleasure seeing so many familiar faces, the FIAPSI family, and too many to hear to name. I think we had a nice family that joined us. So without a doubt, we're right on the minute mark, and look forward to seeing you next month in the next event. For whoever is a FIAPSI member, and those are not, join, guys. Greetings from. I am in Cambodia with also looking at real estate here. So definitely sharing with you. And that's what it's about. Family and friends and real estate, visiting, whether it's tacos and margaritas down in Mexico, or you have La Pura Vida in Costa Rica, and definitely with so much great food too there as well. So definitely, guys, any questions, reach out to Marlene or Ed or myself about Portugal. Happy to answer your questions, okay? On offline about when it has more in detail about real estate, okay? Bye, guys.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you, everyone.
Bye.
Adios.